How deep do you want to get into that one?
I think you can only go so deep.
Casino trip, full of chips. Wanna flip, double it.
Welcome to the Full of Chips podcast, the only chips you'll never lose, where the stakes are high, the takes are bold, and the conversations are always full of chips. With your hosts, Chris, the Dice Degen, and Craig from Old Bay Craps. You're tuned in to Full of Chips, the podcast where we dive into our own experiences into the world of gambling and share stories straight from the casino floor. Whether you're a recreational gambler, a seasoned pro, or just curious what the buzz is all about, you're in the right place. Each week, we break down the games, talk to the experts, and bring you tips that could tilt the odds in your favor. So grab your lucky charm, stack your chips, and let's roll into today's episode.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of the Full of Chips podcast, the only chips you'll never lose. Here with your hosts, Chris, the Dice Degen, and Craig from Old Bay Craps. Craig, how are we tonight?
We're the best we can be at this moment in this time.
Yes, we discussed. You're trucking along there, so props to you, good sir, for that. We'll save the folks at home. You can just, I guess, imagine what's going on, and you can think whatever you want to think.
You can think
But
whatever you want. You're not going to be right, but you'll be thinking whatever you want.
yeah, I can almost guarantee you're probably not going to be right, but that's fine. Sometimes you don't have to be right.
You're right.
See, in this case, I'm right.
You're right.
Oh
yeah.
man, these scripts just write themselves. These
They
scripts
do.
write themselves.
I mean, I was going to say, I've been pondering things. You've been pondering things. I don't know. Is it time to bring back the channel? Is it time to jump back in the saddle, put out a video, get that first one under the gun, ready to go, shoot it out there, see what happens, see the reaction? I'm not saying a live's coming anytime soon, but I think a recorded video might be on the horizon because I'm feeling like I need to get back. Is the year to get back in the channel? I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I like it. I'm gonna like Back in Black. OBC's Back in Black. Yeah, no, it's funny. We were talking about this in the green room, and I've been kicking around the idea of things and stuff, and like I've been posting every once in a while here and there, but like between getting married, doing all that shit, then like holidays, family things, getting sick, I'm like just haven't had like the desire. But I think you might be right. I think it may be time to like jump in head first and just get back to cranking out content once again. Of course, the podcast will be numero uno, but we can crank out the craps videos also.
I will say it's more fun to put out craps videos. You're not going to probably see any blackjack videos. My get right game is private, so
There you go. Then again, though, I mean, like, I'd put out a blackjack video, but what am I going to put out? Like, dealing a shoe? I don't know how many people are going to watch that. See how quickly I can run up fake chips at my house? Because here's the thing, right? If I put out a blackjack video, I can already tell you, here's what somebody's going to say. Someone's going to say that I fixed the deck when I have a really good run. Someone's going to be like, oh, you fixed the deck. Yeah, because I sat here and placed the cards where I wanted them in 6 freaking decks. Yeah. You think I got the time for that?
you sat there and placed 208 cards in the specific order so that you would always be dealt and win 9 hands in a row.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, you caught me. You caught me. Hands up. You caught me. Yeah, I already know somebody's gonna say that, right? Because like, and it's funny. You're talking about the, going back to craps. Like, my videos are still obviously being watched and stuff, and like the hate comments still keep coming in, and I still read them. I don't respond, but I still read them. And I always say it brings me joy, but like sometimes it makes me like giggle. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, you're commenting on a video from like a year and a half ago. Like, I'm glad you watched the video. I don't even remember what the video is about. I have to like go rewatch it myself to be like, what the hell did I talk about in this video?
No, the one that I told you that is my most viewed video is a short that I dedicated to Jen about the craps table that I made. It's a makeshift craps table, but I still get questions to this day. Where did you get that one part? Where did you order that from? Like, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah. That's it's funny. The like how to make a throwing station, how to build your own craps table, whatever. Those videos, I feel like they always start out really slow. Like not a ton of views on them. But then like as time progresses, they really pick up steam, and like yeah, I'm still getting emails to this day. Like, can you send me the cut sheet? I'm like, I don't have a freaking cut sheet. What, I look like a carpenter over here? I don't have a cut sheet. Like, I measured shit out and cut it, and like, watch the video. All the measurements are in there. I don't remember. You want me to make you a cut sheet? I have to rewatch my own video.
You're craps Jesus. You're a miracle worker.
You're right.
I still love to read the comments of a video, you know, like you said, like 3 years ago that says, you forgot to pay yourself on the midnight. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I am not going back to a video 3 years ago to see your point. Like,
I love like you messed up the payout on this. Yeah, no shit. You and 20 other people pointed it out in the comments. Like you said, it's a video from 3 years ago. Like, I mean, I get that you watched the video, you wanted to be Mr. Right. Like, did you go read the comments? Because I responded to a bunch of them already. Like, yes, I know, my bad. I messed up a payout. I'm human. Craps Jesus is human. My new nickname now, I guess, right?
you know what I don't mess up?
What don't
You
you
know
mess
what I'm
up?
perfect at? Making a drink.
And what are we drinking tonight? That is so perfecto.
It's that Crown and Coke, man. I can't get
There you
enough of it.
go.
I can't get enough of it. If anything's going to make me an alcoholic in the future, it's going to be Crown and Coke.
Or this podcast.
However,
One
if
of
there
the
are
two.
any sponsors out there that would like to have a sponsor Crown, that'd be great too. We'll take free bottles as well. By the way, I never got that free bottle from Ian at Christmas from our interview where he was talking about the Scotch. I didn't get a bottle, but I did get the jersey, and I will take that. And thank you so much. It was a great Super Bowl win for you, Ian, brother from another mother. But you know, Chris and I would like a nice bottle of Scotch. You know, I don't know. Just putting it out there. Just throwing it out.
Yeah, I mean, my packages were not for me, and I can tell you that. But congrats to the Seahawks. They won. They dominated. Not unexpected, right? Not unexpected. I texted Ian and John, funny enough. I texted them. When did I text them? I think I texted them after the Eagles lost in the first round. Texted them, congrats on the Super Bowl. And then the next week, I texted them, double-digit win for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And people, and I've been saying this to a lot of people I've talked to, and they're all like, no, no, no. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Double-digit win for the Seahawks. I called it week 1 of the playoffs, practically, right?
Yeah.
Not surprising at all. For all my Patriots fans at home, congratulations. You made the Super Bowl. You're not even making the playoffs next year. You guys can mark my words right now. It's February 11th, 2026. All the Patriots fans, you can write this down. You come clown me after the fact. You're not making the playoffs next year. I can promise you of that.
I
Promise.
don't even
A
know if you'll
DGen
make it out of your
promise.
division.
They won't. They won't win the division for sure. And they're going to win like maybe 6 or 7 games.
Better take a deep sip there.
But yeah, I need a deep sip. Clear the throat. Yeah, no, the Patriots fraudulent team, but it is what it is. Good win for the Seahawks. They had their parade today. I was watching some of the clips from that. It was kind of funny, but a good win for the Seahawks. Definitely a good win for the Seahawks. And Craig, I think it'd be a win for the Craps community if we started posting videos again.
I think it would be. And I got to tell you, though, this is a complete side note. Just because I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking down and watching you and you're talking. And I'm like, I went back to, I think it was our second video. Is that the Can You Handle the Pressure? Was that right? I think so,
Sure.
maybe. And I
Something
was
like
looking,
that.
I was like, my God, at this point, which we are about to, you know, next week will be episode 30, right? This has gotten so much whiter since the first episode.
It's almost as white as my face right now.
Exactly. Like, do I need to? I mean, people think I just took a paintbrush and just painted my chin. I promise you,
No,
it's
the reason my face was white is because I was going back to YouTube. Episode 2 was Can You Handle the Pressure? Had to make sure we were factually accurate for our listeners at home. But yeah, that's why my face got whitewashed real quick. Because I had to open up YouTube and that's just white, and I'm like, ooh, bright in my dark dungeon of
well,
the
you
moon.
glowed because, like I said, you're crap Jesus. So
Thank you. You saw the halo coming from behind me.
no, no, but you know, it's just the white glow when you first turn on YouTube and
Oh man.
you reminded me. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of all the Olympians who, whenever they show them on either the hockey or speed skating, and they're wearing white for leggings, and it's like, It looks like just torsos are going around the rink
Yep.
because the white blends in with the ice. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Have you been watching a lot of the Olympics?
I have. I watched a shit ton. It was sad to see the couples curling lose, but
Yeah.
the women's hockey team was crushing it.
Yeah, they're gonna continue crushing it. Yeah, the curling. It's kind of funny actually. It started as a joke, but DJen is actually super into curling, and like it didn't start because of this Olympics. Like I've been into curling for a while. Um, it started as a joke. So I was betting on curling. Shocker, me betting on curling. Like who would have thought? Um, Funny side note, when when last episode 28, Craig and I recorded episode 28, and we were talking after we recorded, and Craig got screwed on a bet. No, you did get screwed on one, but you won another one. And we were sitting here, and then DJ was just being a degenerate and was looking at what Olympic events were on the next day, and it happened to be the start of the doubles curling. And I crafted a parlay of curling, 3-legger, and it hit.
And I copied the bet. We were talking about
You
that
did.
night.
You did.
What was funny
Yes, I
was that you were
crafted.
asking your wife, who do we pick here? She's like, Sweden. You're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, but then she picked somebody, and I was like, no, not that one. But it's okay. She helped craft the parlay that did hit, which was nice. But yeah, I feel like this year I've watched I mean, obviously only every 4 years, but I've watched a lot more of the Olympics this year than I usually do. I don't know if it's because I'm up early every day and like it's
Every
on
day.
when I'm up.
Every day.
Every day, every day. You can find Craig and I texting at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Um, but I don't know if it's because I'm up early that I'm watching more of it or what. But been interested in it this year a little bit more. And enjoying the events, seeing what's going on. I don't know if it's because it's in Italy. Um, I don't know what it is. I don't
Well,
know.
so the reason I was bursting out laughing just a couple minutes ago was because when you mentioned Olympics, all I was thinking about was what I sent you about Japan.
Oh, the grasshopper scootering.
What is that? What is that?
So, so for folks at home, Craig sends me a video earlier, and he's literally this guy who's dressed as a grasshopper on a scooter going through like this thin wall. And like the object is you can't touch the wall, I guess. And you're supposed to get through as quick as possible. I don't know, but we were talking about it, and like, I don't know, Craig, could you imagine that on ice for the Olympics?
I'm just saying you'd have a bet on it, I guarantee.
Probably. Probably.
By the way, I think I'm taking a hiatus from sports betting for about a month.
There you go.
It's
Just a
been
little
a rough.
hiatus.
It was a rough January.
It's a rough January.
And then most recently the parlay I had where a certain NBA player got hurt. God, that's the
Yeah.
worst. If it's not fourth quarter maintenance that we talked about in football, it's an NBA player getting hurt early in the game.
Yep. Yeah. This is why for the folks, a little side note, you gotta know what book you're betting on. Certain books offer, a little bit better void options for those kind of things.
I'm
But
learning.
that's the problem, man, with like some of those things, like you can't account for injuries, and it always seems to happen when like you have them in a parlay. That's when they get injured. Like, you get some guy or, like LeBron's streak of 10 plus points every game, and then, you bet on him and boom, scores 9. Like,
You can't predict that. I mean, God, so many bets have been based on research, based on like what they've done the last 10 games. And then you're like, you bet it. And it's like, that's the time they decide that they just want to be on the bench. And you're like, really? Like, really?
yep.
Or you get the, because I like live betting. I've told you that, especially with basketball. And, sometimes I'll bet on the over under based on what's happening like after halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're playing poorly per quarter. And then all of a sudden they want to be fucking all-stars in the fourth quarter. And it totally blows your bet by like 13, 15 points.
Yep.
But I've had plenty that have come up short by one goddamn basket.
No, it happens. That's
I
the
literally
thing,
had a team go 4 full minutes without scoring a basket. and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Because they just scored 27 points in the third quarter, and the fourth
Mm-hmm.
quarter comes, and they went 4 straight minutes without a basket, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Jesus Christ!"
You see, that's the thing with like sports betting and stuff, right? Like that you don't have in a casino where like, you're betting on any casino too, you're betting on, I guess, yourself or other people if you're playing craps or whatever it may be. But like sports, you got the athletes who are doing whatever they're doing. And like, not that you have any sort of control in gambling other than the fact that you're placing or not placing said bet. But like, in sports betting, like your bet solely relies on what these people are doing. Like in a casino, you have control of the bet even once it's placed. Like on a craps table, you can take it down, right? Like, yeah, you can cash out of sports bets, but like, I mean, who knows who's gonna do something wild one day? Like, sometimes the underdogs come out swinging. Okay, fine. Sometimes you get those hero performances from somebody like they can't miss the hoop. I'm sitting here and I'm watching, NBA the other night and there's this guy averages like 2 threes a game. Next thing I know, he's got 8 in the third quarter. Literally cannot miss. I'm like, is Steph Curry on their team? No, it's Joe Schmo. I'm like, this guy doesn't even shoot this many threes in a game. Meanwhile, today he literally cannot miss.
Yeah. No, I actually think I think I know the game you're talking about.
Yeah,
Because
it's just like it
I was like,
happens, and then
was it the Knicks game? Is it
mhm.
Chamalay or Shamlay? Like
Yeah,
had like
Sean.
8 threes. Like this guy averages 1 3 per game. He sits on the bench. He manages
Yep.
to get like 6 minutes per game, and he used all 6 minutes to throw 8 threes. You're like,
Yeah, and
Jesus
see, that's the
Christ!
problem. It wasn't even like he's a starter who's playing all game. It's like he comes in off the bench and it's just pull up three, like 15 seconds apart, and he's got 9 points in a minute. And I'm like, hello, who are you? What are you doing?
But if you lay like a live bet on it, it's like then he either never gets back in the game again, or he
Yep.
all of a sudden he doesn't know how to throw a three.
Or he just doesn't shoot anymore. He just turns into an assist god and just starts passing the ball. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
I've had
you
that
couldn't miss.
with centers who are known for like 10 plus, almost 15 rebounds per game, and then like the one time I choose them, they get 7.
Yep.
I'm like, really? You chose that game to just do 7?
Yeah.
I think sports betting, sometimes if you're not betting on the money line and you're betting on prop bets, it really is picking the right people on the right night, and that's
Yeah.
it. You got to pick the right
And
people on the right night.
this is also why a lot of people say to stay away from prop bets, right? Because like now NFL for me is a little bit different, but like even NFL comes into play where like, we've bitched about it before where a guy gets his first professional catch and it's a touchdown and you're leading, 2 receivers don't even get targeted in the red zone. But like basketball, never know who's going to show up. And like, that's why a lot of people like professionals will stay away from the props and just focus on spreads, money lines, overs, unders, right? Because you're not relying on one person. Because sometimes people are just cold and like they're just non-existent all game. Like I didn't even realize that person was playing,
Yeah.
right? And like that's what happens. I mean, even like Jackson Smith and Jigba in the Super Bowl, right? In the first half, I think he had 2 catches in the first day. He had 7 targets, 6 targets, but like he only had 2 catches. But like you didn't even know he was really on the field, right? So like, yeah, I know Christian Gonzalez was covering pretty well, but like with the props and stuff, sometimes it's just not their night. And of course, it's not their night when you have them, but if you actually look at it, it's probably not their night a lot of the time, but you just realize it's really not their night because you have money on them.
But part of the problem is, and you mentioned it earlier about the cash outs. Cash outs are only there if you're paying attention because
Yeah.
they go like this and then they take it away. And then they go like this and they take it away. And it's like if you're not on your phone watching at that time, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah. And let's be honest, the cash outs too, like they're usually not in your favor.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you want to cash out, like you think, oh, I got a lead, there's gonna be a decent cash out. Hell no. Like the only time there's a cash out that's in your favor is when the game's just about over or it's out of hand already and like it's there. But even then, right? Like let's say, you take a team on the money line and they're up 10 points with like a minute left. You're still cashing out for like 80% profit. you're still not cashing out for the 100. So then it's like, well, I'm leaving a ton of money on the table, so I might as well just let it rock. And then boom, you get screwed.
Yeah. No, I've seen it before where, the cash out's already low. It is over your bet, but it's low. And then when they know that you're most likely going to win this, they just won't even
Mm-hmm.
offer you a cash out for like a whole
Yeah.
quarter. And you're like, my God, I was waiting for the cash out to just get out early and get some guaranteed money, and you're not even offering me anything. I'm like, weird, you know.
Yeah.
But
The
again,
sports book's got it figured out.
you say before you got to pick the right sports book, or pick, look at multiple sports books and pick the one. But there are some that are, to me, I guess I'm now convinced that FanDuel is a trap sport book. It's a trap. It's a trap. Even compared to like DraftKings. DraftKings will at least let you go incrementally down or up on anybody's released statistic kind of thing. But FanDuel won't. FanDuel gives you that like every 3. It
Mm-hmm.
won't give you like each increment, each point down or up
Yeah.
based on, total points or something. But yeah, I'm convinced FanDuel's a trap sports book. So fuck you, FanDuel.
They will not be a sponsor of the Chips podcast. They're gonna listen to this episode and be like, "Screw these two."
They're gonna be on the
But yeah, no,
FOC,
like
FOS award. I'll tell you that.
they might be. But no, yeah. Like with the sports books, right? It's the same thing like in a casino, I guess too. Like you can't really cash out in a casino like mid game theoretically. Like you can mid like. You can cash out whenever you want, but like it's not like when the dice are in the air, you can be like, "Oh, my bets are off, cash me
Right.
out." Right? Like you have to wait till the result's over. Same thing with like blackjack. Like imagine blackjack, right? Like you could theoretically cash out, mid hand. Like you have a 20, dealer's got a 6, and they offer you a slightly less than even money, let's say. How many people would actually take that? Like I'm curious. People at home who are listening, drop it in the comments. If you're playing blackjack and you have what you think is a good hand, right? You have a 20, dealer's got a 6 up. You don't know what their undercard is, but dealer's got a 6 up. It's a bust card for them, right? If they cashed you out for 80% of your wager, would you take it? Yes or no? Let us know down in the comments. This is a social experiment. This is what this has turned into now. So I'm
Well,
curious. Would you
that's
take it, Greg?
almost why it's curious. Like in craps, you have to say it before or after the thrown roll, but that's probably where all those arguments come into play during a session, from people arguing whether they said they were off or whether they said they had a bet before or after the roll, because you can't
Mm-hmm.
call it mid roll. And,
Yeah.
but I guess the advantage to playing craps is quick succession versus sports betting. You got to wait for the game to play out,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm curious, Greg. Would you take an 80% payout on a blackjack hand if you had a 20 through had a 6 up?
Honestly, if I had a plan going in and I was reaching a goal and that 80% put me at goal, sure.
First hand.
No. No,
See?
I'll take the loss. I'll take the knowing that I'm going to have losses and wins during a session. I'll take the loss if that's the case.
There you go. Yeah, I'm actually I really hope people respond to that in the comments. I'm actually very curious by that now, because like I literally just came up with that on the spot. This was not intended to be talked about. Who knows if we'll actually get to our intended topics tonight? Because we don't need to. We can save them for another episode. We can just have a bitch session basically. But no, it's funny with like when you are betting on sports, when you're betting in the casino, and you brought up a good point too, where like people aren't complaining that they had a bet there until it wins, right? Like you throw a hard 10, I'm not going to be like, well, I had money on the 6, okay? Like it doesn't pay. The only time you're actually going to start complaining is when you think you had a bet on a certain number that actually hits.
But you get those arguments during craps with a
Mm-hmm.
hard 10 hit, and you're like, no, I had the hard 4. He didn't move it down. And then it goes through a whole thing with the pit boss. And then the pit boss probably oftentimes will side with the player just to get him to shut up. Because it's very rare that they will call on whoever's upstairs and say, is this legit? Like it's
Yeah.
not enough money for them to give a fuck about.
I'm actually curious about that. I'd like to we gotta have a dealer on now, or like a box on now, because I'm actually curious to know, like, is there a number that they would actually call upstairs to see, or like play the footage of like where that bet actually was, or do they just do it to, move the game along, right? Because most of the time people are bitching about a couple dollars, right? It's really not that big of a deal, but some people think, or they make it into a big deal, right? It's happened countless times. The most memorable one for me is when it happened when I was in Atlantic City on a really, really good roll. I was a 9 away from the all. Um, I throw a hard 10, and this guy starts bitching the money in the hard 10. And then it was like a 10-minute thing, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And then of course, you know what the next roll was. Usually it doesn't take this long to resolve the issue, right? They either pay it or they don't pay it. And I don't know why it took so long, but as I said, we all know what came next. And everybody at the table was pissed off at this guy. Like, it's funny to me that, that happens at the craps table, right? You don't really have arguments like that at any other game,
Nah,
right?
not
Blackjack,
that
you don't
I've
have
seen.
arguments like that. I haven't seen them either. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, trying to think, and I'm like, I've never seen it really at blackjack, right? Never seen it like roulette, maybe, like somebody said, but roulette, you can't touch the chips once, the dealer swipes across the table. So like your chips are set where they are. You might have somebody like, oh, I meant for that to be on the corner, but like that doesn't really fly.
But but then you got two things. One, you got games like Baccarat where there is no halvesies. Like your chip's either on the banker or it's on the player, and it's pretty fucking clear of which it's on. Even with I
Yeah,
was at a table back in right before New Year's at the local, and it was a new dealer who had a trainer standing next to him. So obviously there could have been moments where there could have been arguments because it's a new dealer, right? So they're asking questions like, did I do that right? Blah blah blah. But it's pretty clear on banker or player. Now, roulette, I think that's why specifically they have this right before the wheel,
mm-hmm.
Completely stops. Like when they do that, the eye in the sky knows that when that person did that, and like you can't sneak in. I don't see how you could sneak a bet in roulette. Um, I guess
No, you
people have done it
can't.
in the past, but with craps, I mean, you see it all the time and it's probably because there's so much. Can you say disetiquette? Is that a word? It's probably not a word, but when there's no proper
We'll make it
etiquette,
a word.
when there's no proper etiquette at the table, and they're just splashing the prop section, and the stick person's like all over the place, and the dealers are telling them where that person meant to put their bet and blah blah blah, or if they have specifically like they don't have a world bet emblem on the layout, but they're doing a makeshift world bet. I can see where that because they are putting it on the line of the box. They're not putting it in a space or out of a space, or on a circle like a C&E, but they're putting it like on a line. So it's like, could it be pushed that way? Could it be pushed that way? You've seen people just argue. We've seen people argue hard ways. We just talked about it earlier, but that's where I've seen it the most. I've never really seen it on somebody arguing a box number of whether a bet was
Yeah.
on or off a box number or somebody meant to take it down or not take it down. But I know that does happen. I know the arguments exist for, no, I had it off or I had it on, but I never really hear an argument of, no, I asked you to bring that down. That was supposed to be down, like a 7
Yeah.
hit, like there goes your money. But I don't know. You got to pay attention.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen like people argue a lot on boxes is like, let's say you're playing 5, 6, 9, or 5, 6, 8, 9, right? You're playing the insides. And let's say 6 was the point, somebody hits their point, and then, you're playing pass line. It goes back up, like let's say the point's a 4 now. And like you don't go put your money back on the 6. Like that's the only time I've like, so, oh, I had money on the 6. Well, you did have money on the 6 when it was the point because it was your pass line, but like you never put the money back. And then you will get people start, complaining like, oh, I had money there. Like it was definitely there. Where'd you put it? Where'd you put it? It's like, no, you moved it, let's say to the 8 after 6 became the point because you had pass line with odds. So why would you have your place bet plus your pass line plus your odds? Like you had to cover a different number. That's the only time I've really seen people like argue about box numbers, but it's typically the prop section, the hard ways, like you said,
It's because all
and
those
like the
bets are
horn
so close
bets.
together. The hop, especially the
Yeah.
hop bets, right? No, I told you
Mm-hmm.
5 and 9. Like, no, you didn't. Clearly, you said 6s and 8s.
Yeah.
Because we even have a chip near the hard way. Like you said, all the 6s and 8s. You did not say the
Yeah.
5 and 9. Where would the extra chip go for the 5 and 9? There wouldn't be one. There is no hard 5, hard 9. Even though we have the JMac
Yeah.
hard 9. Now you were talking about box numbers because I've seen it with lay bets though. I've totally seen it with somebody saying, "I told you to take that lay bet down when like a point gets hit." Like no, you did not. You did not say that. Like the whole table saw you tell him put up a lay bet. Like what are you
Yeah.
doing?
But see, you see, it's again though, it's when that bet loses.
We've seen that when somebody rolls and they clearly didn't have a bet on that on whatever hit, but they want to bet that they did have something on there and they want to get paid. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it's like it's unbelievable when some people, I had this, and then what usually gets me too is that like they're fighting over a couple dollars. Like that's typically what they're fighting over. It's usually not a large payout. Why? Because first of all, we all know you're lying. So like you're not gonna say, I had $100 on the hard 10. No, no, you didn't. Stop. You haven't had $100 bet all day. What are you talking about? But like I had $1 on the hard 10. So we're gonna bitch moan and complain about $7. That's what we're gonna complain about now.
But we've seen other players chip in just to shut them up. Like,
Oh yeah.
here's $7. You didn't have the bet, and then the
Yeah.
other players are like, "Why are you giving him money? Like we know he didn't bet it." And it's like
Yeah, but
it's
I
like
want the game to continue.
they just
That's
want
the
the game
thing.
to
Like,
continue, right?
exactly. I've been guilty of it before where like you shorted me $1 on the payout and they're going on and on. I'm like, here's the friggin' dollar. Shut up and let's move on. And then you know that most of those people are not happy with that.
Yeah,
Right? They won't take the dollar from me,
right.
but they want to prove their point that they got shorted $1. It's like, does the dollar really matter? Like
No,
we're gambling, right?
but now you've killed the vibe, and now
Exactly.
it's fucking PSO City. It's a cold fucking table, and it's all because of your bitching.
Yeah. And like we always say too, like if you're gonna now, I'm not advocating for letting dealers pay you incorrectly, right? Most of the time they're not gonna pay you incorrectly. Most of the time they're gonna be correct. But like if they short you $1, there's no problem with pointing it out, right? But we've gone into this in previous episodes and stuff where like if you see that it's short, don't touch the payout.
Don't touch it.
Just tell them, right? Like, and you can't do it 2 rolls later.
Right. Just don't bring it to your rack. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Say, look, you didn't pay me right.
Exactly. And they will correct it. Right. And like, again, it seems to only happen really on the craps table, right? Blackjack, there's no missed payouts unless they got a chip color wrong or something. Right. Like, that's really
It's
the
so
only time.
rare.
Sometimes on the side bets, but like typically on the side bets, it's the player who thinks they made more than they actually did. Right? Like on blackjack side bets, I was playing with this guy at the local one time, and like he thought every 20 on the lucky lady side bet paid him 9-1. No, not every 20 pays you 9-1. Every 20 will at least pay you 4-1. Suited 20s will pay you 9-1 and other things like that. But like, and he was complaining every time, 9-1. You should be paying me $45, not $20. It's like, oh, dude, you got a 20, but it's not suited. Like they're two different cards, two different colors. Getting 4-1. And then they argue, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know. And then they argue 10 minutes later, the same point. It's like, you just had this argument. You got short-term memory or you're too drunk? Which one is it? I'm going to go with the second one.
I don't know if it happens, but you don't really see it at slots. You don't really see
No, you never see any of that shit on slots. The only thing you see at slots is like, the machine ate my money.
It's almost funny, like if there were less, I don't know, if there were more dealers or less dealers at a craps table, would there be more or less fighting? Because how
That's a good
often have you
question.
seen the pit boss just side with the player just to
Yeah.
get the shit back together?
Yeah. But then again, though, like, you get some dealers who are kind of territorial over their job, right? Like, sometimes when, like, let's say the stick is moving a little slow, right? And like, I want center action. Well, my dealer will place the center action and just tell the stick. Sometimes the sticks get a little territorial and they're like, why are you, like, I'm responsible for that.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but you're moving slow.
I've seen some of that in fighting.
And I mean, so like, I'm curious if you had more, I don't know. Folks at home, what do you think? More dealers at a craps table? Would there be more or less fighting? This is just the episode of prompting thoughts from the folks at home, I think.
You know, we're probably not going to get into our topics, so we'll just save those for another day. We've been talking at random for 40 minutes, and it's as they say in some 90s song, it feels good, you know?
I mean, what's wrong with that, though?
I don't know. We need some feedback questions so we can have an email bag episode or something, or mailbag episode.
Yeah, that's I do want to do that. I do want to do like a Q&A type episode, or just like talking about mail that we get or comments that we get. So if you have comments or messages you would like to send us, email down below, fullofchipspodcast@gmail.com. You can send them our way, and we'll take a look. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be featured in an episode.
I'll tell you off camera, but I have a final attempt at a phone number. So
There we go.
yeah, I'll tell you about that offline. Because if I
Okay.
tell you somebody online, somebody's going to try to take it. So
Yeah, someone's gonna try to take it. We can't talk about that. All right, Craig. Well, we've talked about a lot of things today. Don't ask me what we talked about because I don't even remember, but I'm sure it's
Literally.
gold. Um, hopefully the U.S. wins some more gold medals because they're slacking. They're slacking in some departments. You know what? That's the worst part sometimes about waking up so early to watch some of these competitions is like I'm just rooting for them and then they just rip my heart out with the shit performance.
Speaking of
You
shit,
know?
you know who should get a gold medal?
No.
People that have gone to a proctological exam. You should win a gold medal just for going to the visit.
How deep do you want to get into that one?
I think you can only go so deep.
Where's I need the bump sound for that one. But no, yeah. Oh my god. All right.
The only thing that's going to save this episode is the top 5.
It's time for the top 5. And it's top 5 ways to stretch a bankroll without killing the fun.
Let's get
So
into
Craig,
it.
the number 5 way to stretch a bankroll and not kill the fun, what is it?
The number 5 way is something that we just came off of an episode that's airing this week, and that's about playing in units, not dollars. You got to lock in the unit size before you buy in and stick to it. It keeps you from chasing. We don't want to chase. You don't want to chase. You got to keep the emotions out of the decision making, and it lets you enjoy the game without sweating every chip.
There you go. I like that one. My number 5 is to, and this is gonna be funny because this kind of goes against a lot of things that I say that I do. But it's kind of an oxymoron coming from DJ's mouth. But hear me out. All right, hear me out, folks at home. Set a loss limit, sort of. Okay, there's an asterisk next to the sort of, right? Not a hard stop where you're gonna stop at something, but maybe reduce your bets or limit the amount of bets you're gonna place on a table, right? So let's say if you're typically playing 66 inside or 110 inside, instead of playing that, just play the 6 and the 8. If you like to play the pass line with odds and other numbers, just play the pass line with odds or whatever it may be. So you're not really setting a loss limit, but you're setting yourself up to lose less each time. Kind of an oxymoron for me, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Your number 5 is my number 4. Choose low volatility bets that still feel engaging. Craps, pass line and odds, 6-8 place bets. Blackjack, flat betting with basic strategy. You stay in the action longer while still getting the thrill of real decision making.
There you go. I was wondering why you were smirking there a little bit. So I guess we both, one of us should have swapped our 4 and 5 because my number 4 is similar to your number 5, which is to lock up your wins and never let them see the table again. So you buy in for $1,000, you're up, couple hundred. Lock away the 1,000 plus a little bit of profit and just play with a little bit of excess, right? We say it a lot on the podcast. We say it a lot in general about locking up wins. So just play with what's remaining. Yes, it may be low volatility bets. It may be very small bets compared to what you normally do, whatever it may be, but you don't have to worry about bleeding or losing, right? You already know you locked up the win. And for the love of God, please do not touch the money that's locked up.
So my number three goes in a little bit of that little extension. It actually comes off of the local session that I talked about right before New Year's Eve, where I just went in, played 7 hands at Blackjack, was up 110, went over to the craps table, played one shooter, won $40. So I hit my $150 goal that I wanted to when I walked through the door. So my number three is set many wins along the way. Instead of swinging for the huge session win, celebrate small victories, 2 hits on a number, a blackjack 3-hand streak, and a solid color up. Because these micro wins keep the fun high without draining the stack.
There you go. I like that one. My number three is eliminate high house edge bets or your lotteries that you want to hit because you want them to be fun. We all know most of those bleed you pretty quickly and they bleed you dry. ATS bets, your hard way parlays you're looking for, the horn, hero plays you're trying to hit, get rid of them and just stick to what you were doing. Or if you can't do that because you're that much of a degenerate that you have to play those bets, get rid of your box bets. Would not advise that, but basically it comes down to lowering the amount of money you have on the table. So if you're going to do that, typically you're going to want to eliminate the high house edge bets. But if you like your high house edge bets, then I don't know what to tell you. I guess just play those.
No, you're right. My number two goes in a little bit in between the playing portion because when we've talked about when you're planning, you're planning for everything. You're not just planning for when you're playing. So this one is take strategic breaks before tilt sets in. Walk the floor, grab a drink, check out the pit. Like a 5-minute reset protects your bankroll better than any betting system and keeps the night enjoyable.
There you go. I like that one. My number two is to play a slower game. So obviously when you're gambling, right, fast-paced games can eat at your bankroll a lot quicker than slower paced games. So play a slower paced game if you can. Or play a game that you don't have to bet as much. So if you're playing craps and you like craps, maybe go over to the bubble machine. Or if you're playing craps and it's moving too quick, go play a different game that's a little bit slower. Sometimes you may only like one game in the casino. If that's the case, take Craig's number two and just take a lap or go do something, go to the bathroom, who knows what you got to do, but go do something just to slow down yourself, slow down any decision-making processes that are going on. And if you play less, you're going to lose less.
That's true.
All right, Craig.
Yeah.
Numero uno.
Numero uno. So my numero uno, this goes right in with the flat betting. So mix in low cost fun during your sessions. So we talked about flat betting. We talked about just going out on a 6 and 8 minimum bets. Just keep collecting whatever hits. No pressing. If you have a pass line, go minimal odds or no odds, and just enjoy the social part of craps. You will definitely last longer. We've talked about with flat betting, you will last longer at the table and you'll last longer through all of the volatility by having that low cost bet.
Yep, I like that one. My number one is use your profits and play mostly with your profits. What do I mean by that? You have a bet on the table, it hits, you play with what you won off that bet, take your bets down or reduce your exposure. So you're playing with more of the profit aspect of things than you are playing with your actual money. For example, right, you got your bet on the 6 and 8. Say you got $30 on each, right? 6 hits, pays you 35. Put dollar in, take it to an $18 6 and 8. You're in the hand for only $1. That'll keep you playing a lot longer than you sitting there trying to hit a home run. If you're trying to sit there and manage a bankroll and play for a long time, if you're trying to hit the home run, you're not going to be able to do it that way. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about hitting home runs. We're talking about lasting longer and having fun. Which,
right.
funny enough, this is coming out Well, it's coming out, I guess, right after Valentine's Day. So hopefully a lot of you last longer and have fun on Valentine's Day.
Well, I think hopefully all of you make sure to get flowers and candy and all the good stuff that comes with Valentine's Day so that you're in your get right zone so that she'll let you go play your get right game.
There you go.
That should have been the
There you
tip of the
go.
episode.
That should have been the tip of the episode. The problem is this is coming out after Valentine's Day. So
Right.
for the gentlemen or ladies at home who didn't do anything for Valentine's Day, get your ass to the store, get some flowers, get some chocolates, and I don't know, grovel. You're in the
Grovel.
doghouse.
That's great. Grovel if you have to.
Grovel if you have to. All right. Even though that was a really good tip, Craig, our tip of the episode is
Don't chase the system, chase the skill. And what do we mean by that? Your ability to adapt. Players get stuck hunting for the system, the perfect hybrid, the magic press pattern, the YouTube strategy that never loses. But the real edge comes from something simpler and far more powerful. Know what kind of table you're sitting at and adjust faster than anyone else. We mentioned it, I believe, last episode, Chris, that, concentrate on the table that you're at, not the table you wish you were.
Mhm.
Adapting is the skill that best demonstrates whether it's DGen here on his channel or me on my Old Bay Crafts channel, where we've rolled out hybrid variants, we've rolled out streak systems or shown disciplined inside play. The strategies change, but the mindset doesn't, right? If systems are tools, skill is the carpenter. I kind of like that. I saw that saying this week, and I was like, I kind of like that. If you want to win more consistently, read the rhythm, respect the bankroll. That's a big one. Respect the bankroll. You brought a
Yep.
bankroll. Respect that you need to either stretch it for 3 sessions in a day, or if you're on a trip, stretch it for 3 days of that trip. Respect the bankroll. Switch gears without ego. You got to switch gears. You can't sit at a table and just PSO, and just let it murder your bankroll. Stop going out there like an insane person when obviously the table has gone cold and you need to adjust your bets accordingly. Let the table tell you what to do. Simple enough.
Yep. Simple enough. Funny enough, some people think no structure to this episode. When we were talking about Carpenter Jesus, you have a carpenter on the tip of the episode. It's like full circle. It just happens. But you made a really good point too with like being able to adapt, right? And I can't tell you how many times people are messaging or complaining or posting somewhere about like this table sucked. Yeah, the table may have sucked, but why didn't you do anything to change it? Right?
Right.
Why didn't you change your style of play? Why did you keep playing? If you don't want to change your style of play, just either choose a different table if you can, or there's nothing wrong with walking away, right? I can't tell you how many times walking away might be the best decision possible, right? Because when you start trying to change things, then then you get in your head and you try to play the chase game, which is the whole point of this is not to chase, right? Walking away, there's nothing wrong with that. Being adaptable to what's going on at the tables is going to help you manage and respect that bankroll. There's nothing worse than watching somebody at a table where they just keep blasting away and you just watch 7. Blast away, 7. Blast away. You would think, have you learned yet, right? If you want to keep blasting away, why don't you lower your bets a little bit? Why don't you limit the amount of numbers you're betting on?
We've seen the opposite, haven't we? We've seen people who on the don't, who do a stack of hundreds on a don't. Somebody hits a point. They double the stack. Somebody hits another point. I would not want to ever be a don't player if Lou is rolling, ever. Especially if he's
Yeah.
rolling on a fire bet table. My God, if you have a don't bet, like just take it and just chuck it to as far as you can across the casino and see where it lands, because wherever it lands is where you should be then playing, because you should be away from the craps table if you're a don't
Yeah.
player while Lou is on a fire bet table.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we always talk about, light side players being kind of stubborn and not wanting to change what they're doing, right? We say that because, hopefully we're trying to save you money. I'm not trying to tell you to go play dark. However, dark side players are some of the most stubborn people I've ever seen in my life. How many times do you see like a dark side player? Oh, they can't do it again to me. They can't beat me again. They can't possibly beat me again. It's like, oh, buddy, grab your popcorn and watch because it's coming.
Right, right. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like I
Definitely.
don't know what it is. Like, I guess maybe on the light side, I guess you run out of money and like you can't bet anymore, or you just buy in for more and you just keep doing it. But like, I don't know what it is. Every time that like a dark side player is getting sniped, like they dig themselves such a hole. And like you need a ladder and like a big ladder to get it out. Like, you need the fire department to come and like drop a ladder down to get you out.
But they're not. That's the difference. You don't see somebody ever stacking a pass line. They
No.
do a pass line bet, PSO. They do another pass line bet. It's the same amount. They're not embellishing.
Yeah.
They're not laddering up. But a don't player, you see a $25 DP, an 11 roll on come out, and they stack it, and then a 7
Mhm.
comes on the come out, and they fucking go 4 times the bet that they had originally. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's understandable if you're betting that the person's not going to be able to hit their point, but the table was telling you that the come out roll is killing you right now, and all you're doing is just feeding into it.
Yeah.
Like, don't. It goes with my last thought of the day, Chris. But I gotta,
What's your
but I can't give you my last thought if I don't know where to find the podcast.
good point. Good point. Email fullofchipspodcast@gmail.com. Full length episodes, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Short form content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and finally, but probably more important, Patreon. All right. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming to Patreon. If more people go to Patreon, if more people don't go to Patreon, the DJ's gonna be a sad little degen over here. So join the Patreon. It's free. Okay, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Link is down below. Go join. Craig, final thought.
You might as well just tell yourself you're full of shit because you'll never be full of chips.
On the